The Legend of Zelda, my favorite video game series named after a character you don't play as. Everyone nowadays knows that you play as Link, a misfit elf boy who loves tights. So naming the game after a princess of the royal family that rules over the land that you live in makes no sense. Did you know that Nintendo named the second entry of the series Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link? As if they released the first game and heard all the fans raving about it, saying how much they love playing as Zelda, and Nintendo went, hey Bob, what was that working title you came up with during that last board meeting again? We need to clear some things up. Regardless, The Legend of Zelda is one of my favorite video game franchises, and with the recent release and staggering success of Breath of the Wild, I realized something. I should really get a Switch. This series is packed full of fun, enjoyable content ranging from unique puzzles, intense combat, dynamic characters, death by chickens, varying main mechanics for each game, rich landscapes, water temple, and my personal favorite, an inspiring soundtrack. As someone with a passion for all things music related, I can't help but love the music in these games. The songs are just so motivating, they keep driving you forward to complete your quest, so mesmerizing that you can't help but find yourself at peace, and so intense, they push you to finish your current battle and come out victorious. The best part about them is they all fit in perfectly with the feel of the game, and the soundtrack just amplifies whatever it is you're doing in the game at that moment. But there is one Legend of Zelda game that has the most iconic soundtrack that stands far above the rest, that is widely viewed as the greatest entry in the entire series. Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love. No, not surprisingly, my favorite Legend of Zelda game is one where the core mechanic is centered around an instrument and has an extra special emphasis on a variety of beautiful songs. Call me a mainstream scrub, but I absolutely love Ocarina of Time. I genuinely consider it one of my favorite games of all time. I was raised on this game, and to this day I get nostalgia goosebumps every time I boot it up and hear the main menu music. I have vivid memories of marathoning Ocarina of Time with my friends over the summers in high school, and we would attempt to beat it from start to finish in just one day. We were in no way professional or even decent speedrunners, we just knew the game like the back of our hand. One time, we were about 14 hours into a run, going from early morning into the late evening, without any breaks. I mean, I guess for food and bathroom. And then I accidentally bumped the Nintendo 64, freezing the game. The only thing we could do was turn it off and back on again, and when we did, we found out we hadn't saved for about 4 hours. So that was pretty much the lowest point of my life. It only seemed fit to me that with my recent love for music production, I should remix Ocarina of Time. The way I saw it, there were really only two ways to go about this. Either one, create an original song featuring a boatload of sound effects from the game, or two, remix an already existing song in the game, rubbing a stain into the masterpiece that is Ocarina of Time. Naturally, I chose the second. It just seemed right. I've done it before, and I enjoyed the result, and I was just curious to see how much I've improved since then. So, the next step was to determine which of the many songs to remix, and this was just such a hard task to do, since they're all so good. Eventually, I landed on the sickest jam in the whole shebang, the Market theme. I was looking it up and I was surprised to find out that not many people have remixed this. How bizarre is that? To start the remix, I needed to get a hold of MIDI notes because I'm not talented enough to transcribe like, what, 6 notes with my ears? Are you kidding me? Come on. Once I got a hold of the notes, I slapped them into Ableton and went to work on some drums to accompany my song. Naturally, I got my kicks and my snares, hi-hats, and other miscellaneous junk. Together, these bad boys create this percussion loop. The next logical step is to work on a bass line to fill in the low ends. It looks like the MIDI note package I downloaded included a perfect arrangement for my bass. With this, I could create one layer as a heavy sub bass, filling in all my low ends, and another grittier bass that would serve to fill in the gaps between that and the other elements of my song. This, tied together with the percussion loop, creates the punchiness in my drop. Following that, I decided to create a layer of chords out of that bass line by using the mysterious magic of elementary level music theory. But later, I decided I didn't quite like how that felt, so I ended up swapping that out for a stack of superstars. These further wrap up the punchiness of the drop and ended up filling in the cracks of my frequency range like pouring milk into a pre-blended smoothie. Some minor additions need to be made before I focus on my melody, so I decided to add in a group of effects, including trivial layers such as white noise and crashing riser sounds. Now I can focus on my melody and, oh goodness, I'm getting the goosebumps again. This song's so good. My leads will consist of a bunch of synths playing the melody. And then in the second half of the drop, I added in a new stack of xylophony type leads to play the ever so slightly different melody provided here. Now my drop is done, and I wanted to focus on creating the intro, which I first tackled by doing my best to replicate the original melody sound. As well as doing the same with the bongos, hi-hats, and underlaying notes. This was a perfect time to use that plucky layer of chords I originally intended to use in the drop, but then later abandoned. That, paired with an ever so quiet layer of piano, created a nice background sound. The second half of the intro introduces my attempt to recreate the whistly melody and then eventually fades away into the build-up. I envisioned the build-up starting quiet and gradually getting louder until the drop. Duh. Then, naturally, the only sound effect to add in before the drop was everyone's favorite character, Navi. Okay, hey look. Well, that's funny, I didn't mean to. Hey look, unpopular opinion here, I didn't think Navi was that annoying, alright? Sue me. Speaking of the drop, I also went back and added in a few minor sounds, including a Link is having the worst night terrors of his life layer. And oh my god, what do you want now, you incessant glowball, you act like a toddler that just consumed sugar for the first time layer. At this point, my song is pretty much done. Just need to tweak some volume levels and adjust some minor things here and there, and we're done. So, close your eyes. Picture walking over that drawbridge into the marketplace with that oh so familiar crowd and... What? What do you mean you can't picture it? You've never played the game? Oh, okay, that's cool. I still respect you as a friend.
Watch out!
And there you have it, I officially soiled a timeless classic. If you want to see me disgrace the legacy of other treasured video games, then be sure to subscribe so you can leave comments on my future videos like, you just ruined...
Insert any medium of pop culture here.
Theme song, great job, you just lost a subscriber. I'm disappointed with humanity once again. Wrong key, noob. Ears are blessed right now. If you want to support my work, then feel free to pick up a copy of my Market Remix on Bandcamp, or you can stream it on SoundCloud. Both of these links can be found in the description below. Click on the video on the top right to watch whatever video I link there, and click on the video on the bottom right to do the same thing. I don't know what I'm gonna put there, don't judge me. How about